All right. Oh, God. Okay. Something's not right. Okay, can you guys hear me? Are we back? Okay. I guess what I'm seeing on my thing is a delay. Okay. I'm always impressed how we can shrink the world online. Okay, it looks like I'm back. Oh my God. What happened was, and I don't know why this is happening on my computer. So, any of you tech people that can answer this question for me, for some unknown reason, this is the third time today that my computer runs into there's a problem and it needs to shut down randomly. And it has to send some kind of report and then restart. A third time today. And I don't know why it does that. I don't know. I just don't know. And I'm getting so frustrated. So frustrated with it. In fact, oh, it makes me wonder why I bought a PC and why I didn't just stay with my Mac. Yes, gremlins. There's little gremlins in there. Oh, man. Not enough RAM. Well, I have to check how much there is. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I have to get more or find out how to add more RAM. I honestly don't remember what it had when I bought it. But anyway, now I lost the poll of Zoom Room, but it did seem like a lot of people wanted that. So am I remiss in that? Some of my RAM could have died. Does that happen? I mean, this computer is really only. When did I buy it? not too much over a year old. Hmm. Now that's quite interesting. If Windows, press Windows button, then type, hit enter. When you run, it tells you what you have. Oh. Oh. Well, I am gonna write that down because I don't want to do it now because good Lord, you know what happened. So me and my little book of notes here. Press Windows. Then type DXDIAG, enter. Oh, then it tells me what I have. Oh, okay, good to know. Thank you. Thank you, because it seems to be happening a lot lately, which gets really frustrating. And you know, there were, okay, this is not stitching related, but there were times a while ago where I had a black screen of death. And it told me that the computer couldn't restart, but I could restart it manually. Except I couldn't get out of the black screen of death. And when I looked up what to do, it told me to do the turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, blah, 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 blah. And then I could recover. So I essentially had to redo everything. That was not too long ago. So, I don't know, maybe that killed some RAM. Just tells you what hardware you have. It's actually a program, but on Windows, if you hit the Windows button, then type, it searches all your programs. Okay. Okay. I will try. You know what? For an old lady, I am learning a whole lot about computers. And I know. Well, I thought about that too, but my stuff says I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I have to. I will have to mess around with it and try and figure it out. I'll tell you what, I am getting a heck of an education on technology. I thought I knew a fair amount when I started this, but I'll tell you what, I have learned a whole lot more about technology. Yeah. And to think I learned it by myself. That's the thing. But thank you guys for that. So anyway, I will try looking into a Zoom room. But like I said, if I do that, it will be at scheduled times only, and I will try to make it scheduled times that are convenient for European people and then maybe a different time that's convenient for people in the States. So, we'll have to, it's a glitch in the matrix. Well, you know what? Now that you say that, Stitching Addicted, that your son has a degree in IT. I have a friend, my friend Barb. Her son builds computers. So I think I am going to have to get Barb, if you're listening to this, we may need the help of Sean to come and help me figure this thing out. You might have to bring him to my house. Yeah, her son builds computers and is a lot more tech savvy than me, who goes to Dr. Google and says, Dr. Google, this is happening. What do I do? And then I try all these things that it tells me to do. And Lord only knows, did trying all these things mess something else up? Who knows? Who knows? But Lord only knows I try. Oh, Tori, aren't you great? You're a software engineer too, also? That's what my son-in-law does. Only here's the deal with that. He's a software engineer. Okay? He writes software. Although, whenever I asked him about my hardware troubles, he says, I'm going to do the same thing that you do. I'm going to go to Dr. Google. He's going to have to Google it. Trouble is, at least he understands it better than I do. But no, I'm going to get Barb's son to come and look at it. When will you see Barb again? Well, that is just a good question. Just a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I have to talk her into coming on here again with me. I must. She only was on that one time. I have to talk her into coming on again, actually. But that's a little bit far away yet. We're going to a retreat in January down in Ocean City, Maryland. It's Embroiderers Guild of America retreat. So maybe, just maybe, I can convince her into coming on live with me from there. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Maybe I can convince her. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll get her on here again. Soon. Maybe the next time she comes down to Stitch, I can talk her into doing a live. Sometimes it takes a little bit of talking, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, Tori, if you have any bright ideas of what else I can do, I mean, you know how to get a hold of me. So I'm going to check into a Zoom room. We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, though. I can't promise that. It just depends on how expensive. Oh, you just have a degree. My son-in-law actually works. Yes, he is actually builds software. I can't tell you the company he works for because I don't know the name of it. But I know he's right on up there, and he works a lot. Nice thing is he can work from home, which that's lovely. And yeah, they really like that. So yeah. Anyone else get their finishes custom framed? The last thing, well, I haven't had one of many finishes. I had my Stitchers Retreat custom framed. It was very expensive to have it custom framed. The few finishes I've had since then, I have framed myself, which I pin mount. So it's not difficult. It's just, you got to take your time. It's time consuming. You have to, you can't rush it. You just take your time and line things up the way they're supposed to be lined up. I follow a thread in the fabric when I'm pinning. So yeah. You can't rush through it. It takes time, but it saves a lot of money because there are places online that you can order the frame, the mounting board, glass if you want glass, mat if you want mat, have the frame put together if you want the frame put together. And it all comes in one little box or big box, depending on how big the frame is. And you just mount your piece and stick it in. It's easy peasy. They do all the cut. I mean, you have to measure to tell them what size frame you need. But yeah, it's the places I've got it. Framing for Yourself, I think, was the place that I got mine from. And everything came. It was fine. It was well done. And I just framed the piece and put it right in there. No problem whatsoever. So does anyone else do their own framing, or do you all take it? I know. First, you have to get something finished in order to have it framed. If you're doing these humongous pieces, yeah, they take a while. They don't just, it's not like you have something framed every week. Yeah. Now there is something else I want to try, and I'm going to, I can do a video on that too. Oh, Kimberly came back! Yay! I bought. Have you guys seen the jewelry boxes? And they're made into boxes to store your stitching tools in. Have any of you seen those? I saw somebody had them. I can't remember who it was. But somebody was showing it on their video, and they take a jewelry box. It doesn't have to be an expensive one, just a inexpensive jewelry box, and they take a lot of the guts out of it and then make their own lining in it and divide it how they want it, and have your scissors and your needles and all your stuff in it. Tori, I just had my first Haid finish, and holy crap, so expensive. $250, so I was wondering about the other options. Tori, should I tell you what it cost me to have Stitchers Retreat framed? Sit down. Be sure you're sitting. Don't be drinking anything, because you're going to spew it if you do. Sit down. It cost me, with discounts, with discounts, $800. If I would not have had discounts, it would have been over $1,200. Now, I did get museum glass, which is expensive, but yeah, yeah. And lacing is if you bring your fabric to the back, okay, and you actually sew side to side, zigzag down, sewing side to side, and then up and down to hold the fabric in place. Now, what I did is I used stainless steel pins and pinned it into the side of, like if this is your mounting board, the fabric came over the edge and then I stuck pins about every half inch all the way around. Yeah. Yes, Linda. Yes. That's why I started framing my own when I do have a finish. Yeah. And lacing isn't hard. I just find that pinning, your fabric stays put. And when you're lacing, things, you almost have to pin first and then lace it so that things don't scooch around. Because they won't, it's hard to keep it exactly where it needs to be when you're just lacing and you don't have something to hold it in place. Yeah. I'll be framing my own and doing. Yeah. Yeah, Kim. It's framing is not cheap. Not cheap. Now, part of that depends on where you get it framed. Versus if you take it to, say, Michael's or Hobby Lobby or one of those, versus a shop that does strictly framing. Now, my piece was framed by Total Framing in Fairfax, Virginia. And it just so happens Sherry is a friend of mine, and she did the framing for me because I knew it was going to be done right. But yeah, it was, now granted, Virginia, of course, things are more expensive there than they are, say, here in Pennsylvania because it's just outside of DC. So yeah. So it was pricey. Yes, Stitcher's Retreat is huge. Huge. I can't remember the dimensions of it. It's big. It's very, very big. It takes up the space. Okay, in my living room, the front door is here, and there's a window here. My sofa is in front of that window. And that Stitcher's Retreat fills that space. Yeah. So it's big. Okay, I missed some. Uh-oh. 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 Chat. Let me pull this chat out so I can see it. Oh, wait, let's go here. Okay. Okay. The reason why I don't frame anything when I want to show my work to friends, I just bring out the box of projects. Yeah. Yeah. Also gives you the opportunity to share all the behind the scenes stories. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so true. There are many behind the scenes stories, and there's also the story within the piece itself. If you think about that, people have asked me, okay, how can I do this better, or how can I do that better, or how do I do this? And so many have said, okay, I'll rip it out and start over. To which I have on many occasions said, don't, because this is the inside story of your piece. This is the story of your journey. This is the story of, this was my ability when I started. This is how I stitched in the beginning. And then you can see till the end all the improvements, the things that you did better, not right or wrong, but better for you. The progress within yourself of your stitching. So there is that story too. Besides the story of what was going on in your life at the time. I mean, there are many pieces for me that have a meaning of something that was happening. The first thing that comes to mind, I was stitching a graph by Barbara and Cheryl called Church Street. It was very big. Not as big as Stitcher's Retreat, but it was big. And it was back in I think I finished it in 1988 or 89, somewhere back there. Anyway, when I was working on it, I loved the piece and I loved working on it. But when I was working on it, my father passed away. And I had a very hard time. And I actually put it away for quite some time before I actually finished it, because that would bring up all those memories every time I go to stitch on it. So, things have memories of what was happening. On a lot of those early pieces that I did, and I had framed myself at that time, I can't remember if I told my daughter this or not, but if she were to open the back, like take the brown paper off the back side of the mounting board has messages for her of what was happening at that time, what she was doing at that time. One I remember is, oh, you lost your first tooth, or, just some of it was outright silly stuff, but it's written on the back of the mounting board in the back of those pictures. So if she keeps them and ever opens them up, she will see that. If they end up, I don't know, if they end up at the Goodwill and somebody saves the stitches and they want to reframe it, they'll find that. So how great is that? I think that is just an added perk to having a piece, to have a little bit of history within it. Oh, yeah. It's, it holds, people who don't stitch don't understand how that piece becomes so much a part of you, or how you become so much a part of that piece. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We pour a lot of our life into that piece. Think of all the problems you solved over the years while you were stitching. I did some of my best thinking, some of my best coming up with a resolution while I was stitching. Golly, if they'd let stitchers just think if we all got together, how we could fix the world. Oh, oh, what did I miss here? After 250, I spent, I'm tempted to work. I made a Google sheet to track start times. I don't know on this head, but I spent 6 hours using the OK time trick to write my stitch counts from 2020 till now and cross-reference pictures from that time frame to verify my counts. But dang, the memories, I broke down crying. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. They hold a whole lot. They hold a whole lot. Just think though, if you didn't have that, if you didn't have the stitching to get you through some of those times, how many troubles you would carry. You have your stitching and you can let it go in that. How many things would you have hung on to that would have affected you differently during those times? I often think about that too. Oh, I'm getting philosophical now. Robin, hello. You did make it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, you missed all my excitement of having to restart. God. I'll get that figured out, but yeah. Yeah, and here I was I'm not stitching anyhow. Yeah. No, doesn't always happen. It's more fun just to sit here and jabber with you guys. Yeah. I guess a lot of our European friends are sleeping. And some of them, well, Lucia, she probably is asleep because I think she's working now. Yes, Stitcher's Retreat got you through the pandemic. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I just love stitching on that one. Then that's my problem. That's my problem. That piece did so. Oh, you are still here. You're still awake, Lucia. Oh, I forgot. No, I didn't forget. I just reminded myself you are a night owl. I have. I was so into Stitcher's Retreat. That piece was is I don't know. It just was everything. I love it. I loved stitching on it. I wanted it on my wall so bad. And I was so intent that that was going to be the case. And I enjoyed absolutely every stitch. But I have yet to find a piece that makes me feel the same way. I just, I don't know. I just can't find the peace. Well, God shed his grace is getting pretty close, but it's just not the same. You know, and I'm not necessarily a stitcher that has to stitch to have a finish and hanging on the wall. I just love to stitch. But Stitcher's Retreat was admit rang every bell, pushed every button, and did that. You know, it was, I loved the design. I love stitching on it. I wanted it on my wall. I was not going to be happy without that. But I just haven't found it. The pattern has since been retired. However, let me see something. I had a, let me see if I can remember how to do it. I can't remember exactly how to do it, but there is a place on the web that you can get it, and it is the original one by Heaven and Earth. And you just have to go into Google and I think if you search Stitcher's Retreat by Heaven and Earth Designs, it comes up and it is the original chart and you can download it. It is not on their website. Oh, Linda, thanks for stopping. Have a great rest of your evening. I'm glad you could stop in. If I can find it, I thought I saved the link. It was when I got it and I stitched it, it was a free chart. If I can find it, I'll link it somewhere. But what I recollect is you just had to Google. Yes, you can get it from Golden Kite. It's called the Boudoir, and it's the same design. It's, yes, it is a bit pricey. It is the same design, but I don't think it's as large. I think it's smaller. It's not this. it's not the same stitch count and all of that as the Heaven and Earth one. Now, yeah, I wonder, because she did do it for me. There was a chart that I wanted, and I have yet to stitch it, that it would go very well with Stitcher's Retreat. And I asked, I can't remember her name, at is it Cross Stitch Collectibles? She used to work for Michelle at Heaven and Earth and branched out on her own. And I asked her to chart was it the library? Heaven and Earth, the library. And I asked Cross Stitch Collectibles to chart it because I wanted a different size, and the size wasn't available at Heaven and Earth. And if I would have asked for a different size, they would have done that, but I would have had to pay for it. Where Cross Stitch Collectibles, she very willingly charted it. So, I mean, that may be another option, because I would think, since Golden Kite has it, Heaven and Earth Designs had it, I would think it might be in public domain by this point in time, that anybody, and if something's in public domain, it can be freely used by anybody. Yeah. I have to look around because I can't remember. I know it was, if you Googled Stitcher's Retreat, you could get the original chart. It was still out there on the web. Yeah. Sunny Cat, you are so right. Lost 5 close friends since Thanksgiving. Stitching has helped you through all of it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It is very good therapy to keep Alzheimer's, dementia away. You have to constantly use your mind. I'll tell you what I do. I used to have to administer the mini mental status exam. Yeah, I memorized it. I memorize spelling world backwards. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that works out for me someday. Oh, well. I guess I'm running out of things to talk about. How about you guys? We'll look into a Zoom room if people would like to do that. Like I said, I can't promise anything. And for those of you that have joined, oh, Sarah. Well, hello. I didn't see you sneak in until just now. I'm glad you did. How's your Craft Optics working out for you? I hope good. I hope good. Um, just a reminder for people that haven't watched the 15,000 subscriber video. It's out there. If people, I'm going to do the drawing on not this Friday, but next Friday, October 5th, for the giveaway. Well, hello, Debbie Chamberlain. How are you? Good to see you. So if you haven't watched it and you're interested in anything, yeah, take a gander. Take a gander. Just a reminder for those that again have are dropping in and weren't here in the beginning. I am going to discontinue YouTube monetization, so you won't get the crazy advertisements in the middle of the videos anymore. I don't know if you'll get them before and after, but you won't get any during the videos anymore. I am going to do away with that. Yeah. This live is broken up into two videos because my computer kind of crapped out on me and I had to restart the stream. So if you'd like to know more about that, it's in the first part of this. Well, Sunny Cat, you are quite welcome. And I am so glad that people have learned things from the content that I put out there, that, you know, that really has become the emphasis of this channel. And I was saying before, you really don't see from me a lot of videos. You will every now and again, but as a rule, it's not the content that I put up. It's not the this is what I've worked on this month or this 2-week period, and this is how many stitches I've done, and this is my plan for whenever. You see very little of that from me. Every now and again, you get one. But most of the things that I put out have been Stitch with Me's, where I ramble on. But during those rambles, you never know what little tips you're going to pick up. And I really don't know what little tips I'm really going to give you until they come out of my mouth at that point in time. But that's mainly what you're going to get here. Or you're going to get a tutorial on, well, this is how you do this, or this is how you do that, or this is how you join two pieces of fabric together, or in fact, who was it? Just watched it today. Saw it on, let me think, Leslie Hurley, Fat Cat Flossing, Instagram. Just found a hole in her fabric. So I left her a little note, Leslie, go watch this video. You can fix it. It's not that hard. So hopefully that will help her to repair her fabric, because it can be fixed. And if you take your time and do it, you know, the way I've shown you, you won't even see it. You won't notice it. It's just going to blend right in with everything else. Oh, Sunny Cat, you're not the only one that has said that. I often go, it's just me. But you know what? It's just the way I talk when I'm talking on a video. Not well, it's pretty much the way I talk all the time. I mean, you don't see anything. What you see on here is what I am away from here. And any of those that have gotten together with me will tell you that. I am who I am, and what you see is what you get. But yeah, and that's what I like to do. But folks, do let me know what kind of Stitch with Me videos do you want? Do you want me to do full coverage yet? Do you want me to do things that aren't full coverage? Like I said, I can't please everybody, but I can try and do some things or vary it so that people can see what they want. I prefer full coverage stitching. But I also have decided I'm going to add more smaller things so that I just need to finish every once in a while. I mean, I stitch just because I like to stitch, but it is nice to finish something every now and again. So, like I said, the monetization, though, is going to go away. Long story short, for those of you that are just joining, YouTube is doing some things differently that they have not done in the past. And some of us, I am a smaller channel in the grand scheme of things. And smaller channels are having that issue of YouTube randomly unsubscribing people. And now they are rambling for reasons that they will not, or now they are randomly for reasons that they do not explain, other than to say it's your fault, being the creator's fault, but they are randomly limiting your monetization, which means you're not seeing as much profit from what you do. And I said earlier, I'm being rebellious. Because if I'm going to be limited, then I do not want to make money for YouTube, because they already take a nice portion of what the revenue would be. So I'm going to back out of that program, which in the long run, I think is just fine. It's a win-win for all of us. You guys won't see the ads. I won't feel the pressure. Yeah. However, that being said, if you would like to make a small donation so that I could do a Zoom room or put the money back into creating things for the channel, I did start a Buy Me a Coffee. No obligation. It's there if you want to, but not expected. No one should feel like they have to. So just putting that out there. You have to have quickies for palette cleansers. Long ones is discouraging because of no finishes. Hence, I do all types. Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe that's, well, no, I'm thinking that is the route I am going to go, and maybe like this long dog, it isn't necessarily a small, but it is different in the fact that it's one color. one color for me after all the full coverage. It's quite mindless. Quite mindless. And stitches really rather quickly. So, yeah. So that's kind of what my plan is going to be for the foreseeable future, is to do God Shed His Grace and then just fill it in with some small stuff and get some small finishes. And I know you're all going, but what about Sir Frederick Frosty, the Christmas stocking that you were going to have done? Fred has not seen the light of day for quite some time. He's still there. He may come out in the future. But for right now, Fred's taken a rest. I don't know. I just kind of lost my mojo for Fred. And you know what? I'm so close. I just have the heel and the toe to stitch yet. But I kind of lost the mojo. So he's hanging around. It may come back. We'll see. We'll see. He won't be done for this Christmas. Maybe next. Maybe next. And then I still have one to do for Adam, my son-in-law. So yeah, I gotta get the stocking mojo going again, but it's just not there at this moment. You know, I'm kind of fickle in the fact that I stitch what I want to stitch when I want to stitch it, without regard to and have to get it done by date. It's just, I like to have some finishes, but I stitch what I want to stitch whenever I want to stitch. That's what keeps me the happiest. And every now and again, I throw in some knitting. Yeah, I have a wrap started, and that might be what I work on tonight when I go back over in the living room, which is probably going to be quite shortly because I'm running out of stuff. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. So, are there any? I need a new start to help get my mojo. Yeah, probably do. What would you suggest? Small, something small. But then again, see that, and then I say, oh, I'm going to do some smalls so I have some finishes. So I start something. I started that one here. I started this one. See if it washes out. No. I started this one for that German challenge. Well, that's all the further I got. And I'm bored. I got bored. Oh, that light's too bright. Yeah, I got too bored. I don't know what's the problem. What is my problem? I'm just fickle. A fickle old lady. Yeah, I don't know. I did pick it up 2 days ago and finished the pumpkin and started the crow. But then it went back over here in the pile of, okay, that's the current work on one. And then we have, I'll show you this. I'll show you this. I have made some progress on this. Now, hopefully, can I dim this light a little bit? Ooh. Ooh. Maybe you'll be able to see it. Oh no, it washes out. It completely washes out. Okay, let me do this. Ooh, that's dark. But maybe you'll be able to see it. Oh no. Is that too much light there? Okay, let's switch. Let's switch to, oh, what happened to, oh, I didn't restart this. Hold on. Oh, knees, ow. Okay, why is this not? Oh. Okay, I guess that ain't gonna work. See, this is what happens. It's supposed to connect USB. Okay, it's not going to work. I give up. I give up. So let's go back here. There you can kind of see. There you go. So this is coming along. I got quite a bit done on this. But yeah. And I pick it up every now and again. I pick it up every now and again. So yeah. Variety. Variety is the spice of life. So, guys, I think we've been on here total time a little over 2 hours. So I think we're going to call this one me talking too much. Oh, no, Sunny Cat, you did not. You did not. You were fine. But Tori did miss that, didn't she? There we go. Yes, Lucia, go get some sleep. Go get some sleep. And I think we're going to. When I need a change, I find folk embroidered cross stitch patterns work intricate but still somewhat repetitive and pleasing to pick. More engaging than the typical small stuff. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I think that's part of it. It's like some things I get too bored with, and I need something a little more stimulating. So my friends, I think we will call it a night. I hope all of you have a great rest of your evening. And I will try and come back on live a little bit more often than what I had been. Um, we'll see how it goes. And look for some different things showing up in the channel, like the different stitches and different ways of using those stitches. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me. Love to each and every one of you. You guys are awesome, wonderful. And I will see you all next time. So have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye for now.